Welcome to the Monday edition of the Linda Cohn Show. Thanks as always for being a part of it. Guess what we're beginning with? This was an easy one, wasn't it? Enes Kanter. Foolish spectacle or statement maker? You pick. But here's what I know. At Sunday night's Fever Sky game in Chicago, Kanter was sitting courtside wearing a t-shirt that read this dictionary definition: woman, noun, adult, human, female. That was his statement. You might agree with it. I certainly do. You might hate it. Possible. You might think he went there hoping to just stir the pot. Well, today the WNBA called the whole thing a publicity stunt. Figures. But he bought a ticket. He sat in his seat and he wore a shirt expressing his opinion. Then Sophie Cunningham hit a three-pointer. And Kanter raised his hands and cheered for her. Here's what Kanter told Outkick what happened next. Roll it, Dominic.
Literally out there, obviously I'm a huge fan of basketball, a huge fan of women's basketball, and I was there to watch the game, and I was really excited because I'm a huge fan of the Fevers. And so I was just literally just there to just watch the game. And then first half went amazing. I was having so much fun with my friends and stuff. And then it was towards the end of the third quarter. And Sophie Cunningham shot a three. And I put my hands up to celebrate, right? Literally a couple positions later, Natasha came back and started screaming and yelling and said, she's not going to sleep with you. And I was like, I am not trying to sleep with her. I'm just here to protect women and support her. And then obviously after that, she started yapping and she started to walk towards me. And literally I just got up and then I was like, I'm just here to protect women, and that's all.
Now, we have not heard from Natasha Cloud, her version of that particular exchange. That's Kanter's account. But during a timeout late in that third, Cloud did walk toward him and start shouting. She initiated that confrontation. That is what the video shows. Kanter responded. He stood up. He spread his arms, eventually mocking Cloud with a little talking hand gesture. He wasn't doing that to entertain the kids and teenagers that were sitting around him by the time. At the time, Cloud was reportedly dropping F-bombs at him. According to the video, Cloud approached him. It was Cloud who started yelling. Cloud had to be restrained by her teammates and security had to be ushered in. And somehow Kanter was the person being thrown out of the building. Why? Nobody has provided a clear answer. If Kanter threatened somebody, stepped onto the court, or violated an arena rule, tell us. Tell us. If there's more to the story, release it. But if he was removed because a player objected to the message on his shirt or did not appreciate whom he was cheering for, well, then I have a problem with that. Natasha Cloud has every right to disagree with him. She has every right to express her opinion. Afterwards, she posted a message on Threads telling transgender people that they are loved, seen, and would always be protected by her. That is her right. But Enes Kanter has rights too, doesn't he? You don't get to preach that everyone should be accepted and then demand that somebody who holds a different opinion be removed from the arena. That isn't acceptance. Nope. That's acceptance with terms and conditions. And let's bring Sophie Cunningham back into this, because somehow people keep twisting what she originally said. Cunningham has repeatedly said she has nothing against transgenders. Her position is about eligibility in women's sports. She does not believe transgender women who went through male puberty should compete in women's sports. She's protecting women's spaces. You can disagree with that position. You can debate it, but stop pretending that discussing athletic eligibility is automatically the same as attacking transgender people personally. These are two completely different conversations. And all of this brings us right back to the WNBA, who today put the blame on just Kanter and again called this whole thing a publicity stunt by him. The league could have gotten out in front of this controversy weeks ago. I've been telling you that forever. It could release a clear, publicly available eligibility policy, precisely determining, let us know what qualifies, what it all means. Instead, we get task forces, we get meetings, we get statements, and more conversations. How many conversations does it take to write down what the eligibility rule is for this league? The collective bargaining agreement says only women may play in the WNBA, but the league has not publicly defined what that means for transgender or intersex athletes. Well, that lack of clarity created this enormous opening, and people on every side, as you know, as you've witnessed, have charged straight through it. Meanwhile, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, remember her? She's sitting on her hands. She's watching as the spectacle grows. Protests outside arenas continue, demonstrations during Fever Road games, messages on video boards, players confronting spectators. Now, a former NBA player being escorted out of an arena while displaying a message on his shirt. And I'm beginning to believe the WNBA hasn't ended this controversy because the controversy is working for them. People are talking about this league. Clips are circulating everywhere. Every Fever Road game has become a political event. And in the attention economy, apparently any publicity is good publicity, even when that publicity has almost nothing to do with basketball. I'm beginning to believe that's what the WNBA's theory is. Enes Kanter did nothing wrong. He came to watch a basketball game wearing a shirt. On it, the definition of what a woman is, straight from the dictionary. If the WNBA has a problem with that, the answer is not ejecting somebody without explaining exactly what he did wrong. The answer is transparency. Clarify the eligibility policy, establish the rules, enforce them consistently. Because until the league does that, this is not going away. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly the point. What do you think? I want to hear. Drop your comments in the chat box and we'll try to pop it up on the screen. Next, I'm in shock. The Cleveland Browns have made it official. Who saw this coming? Deshaun Watson will be their starting quarterback. And my reaction? I thought they were going to cut him today and make Shedeur Sanders the starter. Deshaun Watson has been awful. I mean, not disappointing, not inconsistent, awful, all caps. Since arriving in Cleveland, he's played 19 games. He's gone 9-10. He's suffered multiple injuries, not his fault, missed all of last season. And when we last saw him play meaningful football, the Browns' offense was dead last in the NFL. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders outplayed him in the preseason. But apparently none of that matters. Who cares? Because the Browns still trapped inside the worst contract in NFL history, the 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract for Watson. Now the money is already gone. Whether Watson starts, sits, or spends Sundays selling hot dogs at the stadium, doesn't matter. Cleveland still owes it. So why keep forcing this? My guess, if you ask, this decision came from higher than Todd Monken. I'm not talking about the almighty. Maybe ownership wants one final attempt to justify this contract. Good luck with that. Here's Coach Monken today on his decision. Roll it, Dominic.
Start against Jacksonville, took in the full body of work over the course of off-season to training camp to the games, the joint practice, and ultimately felt like to start the season on the road, Deshaun gave us the best chance to move the ball and score points. I mean, that's really what it's about. And felt that way going in the last game, but wasn't sure. And after we talked as a staff and after we re-looked at everything, we're going to go that direction.
That direction. The schedule. It's all about the schedule. It gives Cleveland a convenient little escape hatch. Stay with me. The Browns open with 2 games on the road, Jacksonville and Tampa Bay. So Watson won't nearly hear as many boos as he does at home because he'll be on the road the first 2 games. And that matters because, as we all know, Watson was booed during the preseason, called it personal, called it disrespectful. He said it had nothing to do with his performance. Well, Deshaun, I promise you, it had plenty to do with your performance. They wouldn't have booed if you were good. You signed the biggest guaranteed contract in league history and have given Cleveland absolutely nothing in return. Fans tend to notice those minor details. Today, after Watson was named the starter, he had this message to those fans. Roll it, Dominic.
First off, I want to address the comments from Saturday after the game. I think just, human nature, just myself being very emotional, putting a lot of time these last 2 years to, get back and, spend time in this facility, in the city, meeting a lot of different people in the community. I thought I was going to get, a little different response, but I think my emotions got the best of me, and my comments wasn't intending to go at any of the fans around in the city, because there's been a lot of great fans that have been supporting me, and I know the frustration this organization have put a lot of investment in coming to get me back in 22. And things haven't been going the right direction that we thought it was. A lot of injuries, a lot of time off, and not putting the best football and my foot forward. So,
Look at the Browns' schedule. I can't get over this. The opener is at Jacksonville, which went, by the way, 7-1 in true home games last season, won the division. Then Cleveland visits Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, their old friend. Baker Mayfield, the quarterback Cleveland discarded to make room for Deshaun Watson. You think Baker has this game circled? He always does. He probably circled it, highlighted it, had it framed. Yeah. There would be nothing Baker would enjoy more than helping send his former team home 0-2. And that's when this becomes fascinating. Cleveland's home opener is week 3 against Carolina. If Watson walks into that stadium at 0-2, those preseason boos are going to sound like polite applause. At that point, I believe the writing will be on the wall. Shedeur Sanders will start. And finally, end this Deshaun Watson experiment. It has blown up. Here's another theory. Could the Cleveland Browns be tanking this season? Of course, I can't admit that. They can't admit it. But yes, to draft yet another quarterback in 2027. CBS Sports' Pete Prisco recently floated a very interesting theory. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam is reportedly very close with the Manning family, and Prisco believes Cleveland may be positioning itself to make a run at Arch Manning. Yes, that Arch Manning. You heard me. It's not nuts. Maybe starting Watson isn't about winning this season. Maybe this is all part of Cleveland's master plan to lose enough to land Archie Manning. Plus, Cleveland now owns additional 2027 draft capital after that Myles Garrett trade. So even if the Browns don't finish with the number 1 pick, they may have enough ammunition to move up and get Arch Manning. Maybe this isn't another terrible Browns decision. Maybe it's a brilliant Browns decision just for 2027 instead of 2026. Because if they genuinely believe Watson gives them their best chance to win right now, that explanation is much harder for me to believe. Yes, cutting him would produce an enormous salary cap mess. I get that. But the Browns already created that mess. Keeping Watson doesn't clean anything up. It just keeps everybody in that minutia, and it stinks. They're giving him one last chance, but I think they are delaying the inevitable. He's a goner by week 4. Got any questions or comments? Drop them in the chat box or ask Linda. That's the segment which follows this. My guest tonight, very excited, best-selling author, keynote speaker, entrepreneur, host of one of the world's most popular podcasts, The School of Greatness. He has interviewed some of the biggest names in sports, in business, in entertainment, all while helping millions of people pursue a more meaningful and successful life. He's also a former pro athlete who turned personal adversity into an incredible career. Please welcome Lewis Howes to the Linda Cohn Show. Welcome to the Linda Cohn Show, Lewis. It is such an honor to have you. Thanks for doing this.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get at it. You know, before your incredible success, and it has been incredible with everything you've accomplished, you were a great athlete. You know, this is a sports show, so I want to bring up your past about how great and outstanding athlete you were. How much of the person, though, you are today was actually built through sports?
I think everything was built through sports for me. All the lessons I learned, I struggled in school immensely. And so for me, I was always in the back of the class because I never wanted the teacher to ask me to raise my hand and answer anything because I never knew the answers. Sports was my real outlet to learn about teamwork, to learn about hard work, consistency, setting goals, learning how to deal with challenges and adversities. So for me, sports is my life. It's taught me so much about how to be a better version of myself and how to really navigate challenging times and pressure. And it's how I've been able to translate everything I learned from sports into the business world and into life.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because what do you tell athletes? What is the one big advantage that you believe, Lewis, that athletes have when they enter the business world?
One of the hardest things in the business world is seeing the future, seeing where the ball is going to be in the future. And a lot of people are uncertain about the future. And one of the talents that I developed through sports was knowing where the ball was going to be and learning how to be there. And I think it's Messi does this best. I think he's like the athlete that runs the least. He's kind of just scanning the field and he just knows when to hit the gap, where the ball is going to be or how it's going to bounce off. When I had Dennis Rodman on, he wasn't the greatest athlete, but he just could know when the ball was, how it was shot, the arc, where it was going to bounce off, and he knew how to be there. So I think it's learning how to see things that other people cannot see through that repetition. And the ability to just be so consistent in showing up. When you show up to practice every single day and you're tired and you're hurt and you don't want to be there sometimes, if you can do that in the business world as well, you're just so much farther along than so many people, even if you don't have the skills in business.
Everything you just said remind me of two GOATs, greatest of all time. Wayne Gretzky always talked about the anticipation of his game. He wasn't a big guy. He was thin. He was a string bean, but he pulled up and had all this great offensive production because he anticipated where a player was going to be, where the puck was going to be. And then you bring up the latter part, Lewis. I think of Tom Brady. He just made a comment recently about he doesn't understand why players don't see the importance of preseason football, that everyone should be into the repetitions and molding their brain and their DNA to what would happen in a real game.
Exactly. So that preparation has really helped me. And I think being consistent, I've done my show for 13 and a half years, every single week for the last 10 years, 3 times a week. And that is half the battle, I think, is showing up consistently and just being willing to do it, even when I don't want to do it sometimes, or I'm busy or I'm tired or whatever it might be. It's just, how do I keep showing up and trying to get better?
Has your definition of success changed as you got older?
Success for sure. And for me, I don't really think about like trying to be successful. I think about trying to be impactful. And when I'm healthy, when I feel like I'm in harmony with myself and I'm making a difference or I'm making an impact or I'm being of service to other people, I feel like that's, for me, impactful. Success, I think, is measured more on wins, accomplishments, goals achieved. And those are fun, and those are fun to have, and I like to chase those things. But for me, it's more measuring around impact, making a difference. Are we actually contributing to people in life versus only succeeding for myself to look good?
You've talked about it, Lewis, that sports teaches us a tremendous amount. You know it, I know it as well. But what is something sports actually did not teach you that you had to learn the hard way?
Oh, learning how to heal my heart. You
Mm.
know, in sports, I think, you know, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s playing sports, and there's never a lot of, hey, if you're going through a hard time at practice, it's okay. Just sit here and let's talk about our feelings. And it's okay to cry and, you know, just take a time out and you scraped yourself and, you know, share your feelings. I never had any of that, Linda. It was more about like, get right back up and go punch someone in the face on the football field one more time. It wasn't, oh, you broke a finger, like, you know, cry a little bit. It's okay. And, you know, I think there's a time and a place for everything. But for something I had to learn how to do was once I was done playing football for many years, I didn't know how to turn that switch off and really learn to heal my emotional side of things because I was so used to just grinding and working hard and getting back up when I fell down, which is a great strategy in sports. It's not always the best strategy in intimate relationships. And so I had to learn through different relationships and breakups, not how to say, let me just get right back up there and like grind through this. I had to learn how to heal my emotional side of my heart. And you don't really see a lot of, you know, jock male athletes doing that or talking about that. So it didn't feel safe for me to explore that until I really learned that like, oh, my life is going to suffer unless I learn how to navigate my inner world of emotions while still being a productive human being in the external world. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. The sports didn't necessarily teach me. I had to learn that through therapy and having coaches and mentors guiding me after sports.
I love that you shared that because I think little by little, certain athletes, I've seen a little bit of that. They're knowledgeable about it. And maybe that because they hear it from you, Lewis.
Yeah.
You built your life around the idea of greatness. What does greatness really mean to you today?
I really believe greatness is pursuing the unique talents and gifts that are within only uniquely you and pursuing them. And in that pursuit, it's not about actually accomplishing them or making them come true. It's about giving your best, seeing who you can become in that pursuit and making a difference on the people around you while you pursue that journey. And it's something that I've, you know, since I was a kid, I always wanted to be an Olympic athlete.
Right.
And in 2008, I saw, after I was done playing arena football, I got injured. I broke my wrist and I was done. I was sleeping on my sister's couch for a year and a half, kind of depressed, going through transition. What do I do with my life now? Do I mean anything? Do I matter? You know, can I make a difference in sports? I saw in the 2008 Olympics for the first time ever, handball, team handball at about 2 or 3 a.m. And I was just like, a new dream emerged inside of my soul. And I said, this was the sport that I was meant to pursue. And for the last 18 years, I've been pursuing this sport, Linda, where a couple of years after that, I moved to New York City. I started practicing with the New York City handball team. I made the USA national team a year after that. And for about a decade, I was playing with the national team, traveling the world in the pursuit of the Olympics. And for me, this is part of my answer of greatness, because I have not accomplished my dream of being an Olympian yet. But in 2 years in Los Angeles, right down the street from me, is the 2028 Olympics. And it'll be a 20-year journey from me first visualizing and seeing team handball for the first time to 20 years later, moving around the country, going around the world, playing, strategizing, improving myself as an athlete in my 30s, now in my early 40s, to pursue an Olympic dream. Whether I accomplish this goal or not is not what it's really about. It's
Right.
not for me, greatness actually going and accomplishing and winning some medal. But for me, it's who I've learned about myself. The people that I've got to meet and build relationships over the last current 18-year journey of this now is life-changing. And the challenges I've had to overcome in this pursuit has just made me a better human being. So the greatness is really about pursuing the uniqueness within you, and the thing that's calling you forth, the thing that is saying, keep going. What is this thing? Go for it. You got this. actually doing it and making a difference on the people around you during that journey. It's not about the accomplishments or the failures or the success. It's about how you show up for others and yourself in that pursuit.
It's words like that that are so inspirational, Lewis. And, you know, you just answered one of my questions, because I was going to ask you if the football career actually worked out and you didn't hurt your wrist and you didn't have to give it up, would you be all that you are today? And would you have met all that you have today and all that you've accomplished, everything that you've had today, if that football career did work out?
You know, there's a part of me that grieved when, you know, I didn't make it to the NFL, and that was like this long-term dream of mine, right? There was like this, I threw everything into it and I didn't make it. And part of me grieved. And there's probably a still part of me that has this grief that's like, what would my life would have been like? But I tell you what, Linda, I just had twin girls 10 months ago.
Yes.
I'm married to the most incredible woman who brings me so much joy and peace, that wants me to pursue my dreams.
Nice.
I've got this incredible team with the School of Greatness where we get to make a difference on stuff that's meaningful for me and for all of us. And I probably wouldn't have created any of this had that challenge and adversity not happened in my life. And so I get to also create meaning in the mess or the challenges. And I could also grieve something not happening and be really grateful for it not happening at the same time. And I'm just accepting my life, choosing to continue to go all in, even though it's not what I originally designed or wanted. And I feel like it could be even better where I'm at now.
How has a dad changed? You know, you're a dad now, right? How has that changed how you look at life now?
It's so special. And, you know, I'm 43 years young, super healthy, and I have 10-month-old twin girls. And it's like the greatest gift that I could have ever received. It's the greatest, you know, championship or becoming a pro athlete or going to the Olympics will ever amount to the gift of getting to wake up and look my girls in the eyes and see them smile. It's a miracle, and it's a beautiful gift. And I'm so grateful and blessed that I get to be their father.
So happy for you. What's next for you? What's next on the Lewis House planning committee?
What's next, Linda, is always what's now. And I have a vision for my goals and my dreams. You know, the Olympics 2028 are around the corner. It's going to happen like this. That is what's next, but it's always thinking about what can I do today, right now, to show up fully, to show up present, and to give my best in this moment, because I cannot control the future. I cannot control whether I am on the Olympic team or not, whether I'm healthy or not. I can't control what happens in the future, but I can control how I show up with you right now. I can control how I show up with my team in a moment, with my wife, with my kids, how I take care of my health, and how I respond to challenges. And for me, that's what I try to focus on most, is how to be as present as possible right now and give my best in every moment.
Love it. We wish you the best on this team handball. You know, I wouldn't have been locked in, but now I'm going to mark it down.
Let's go, Linda.
Boom. I might have to go in person. You know,
you got to come. If I'm at the Olympics, Linda, if I'm playing with Team USA, you better be there.
Hook me up. Hook me up. I want to go as a fan so I can cheer for you.
I got you.
All right, Lewis. Thank you so much. This was so great. Obviously inspirational. Every time you open your mouth or I read a word of yours, it just starts my day off perfectly and ends my night even more so. So thank you for being you. And it's so great to call you a friend.
I appreciate it, Linda. Thanks so much.
House is just gold, incredible. Yeah, I just amazing. Anyway, Dominic, come on in here, man. You with me?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Well, Linda, can you see me?
I can't see you. You're not there. All right. Well, we can hear you.
There I am.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Producer work.
All right. That's great. Well, I mean, just before we get to our Ask Linda segment, what did you take from the Lewis House interview?
Look, I think something that he just kind of conveys so much is just finding optimism when there's hurdles in front of your life. And like, you think about like the dream that he pursued of being a football player and wanting to make it to the NFL and not necessarily achieving that dream, but still finding a way to navigate and call an audible and find purpose in your life that I think is super thing. And having that athletic mentality where it's like you still have that competitive nature to kind of move forward and want the best for yourself and ultimately for the family, and find more value of who you are as a person, not just for you, but for others. And then that kind of what he epitomizes with the greatnit's aspect of it all. So
Yeah, I
it
like
really
that.
fascinating.
Yeah, I like that. School of Greatness podcast is amazing. If you want more Lewis Howes, it's fantastic. Yeah, I love when he said, "What's next is now,"
Right.
because I know I'm guilty of that. I mean, I'm always looking. Something great might happen in that moment. We talk about it. I'm already looking at the next thing. All right, what's the next thing? What can I do? How do I make? Like, okay, I don't stop to the old cliche. I don't stop to smell the roses.
Right.
I work on that every day. I got to be better at that as well. But, again, lucky to have Lewis Howes as my friend. I'm really appreciated his time. All right. Do we have any questions? I know I was like, a thoroughbred out of the gate today with the first two stories. What do you got?
We got some good ones. Before I do that, I did want to share something with you. Somebody else who was courtside, not Enes Kanter, but this individual here, Mr. Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
Did you see this, Linda? He wore the Caitlin Clark shoes. We were talking about him.
Yeah. First of all, good choice in color.
Yes.
She has so many styles with that shoe. Jason, I know, is a huge fan of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. He's been consistent. He didn't just show up for that game. It's just so cool. She is a rock star. I know people think I'm biased. Whatever. Who cares what they think? I'm looking at it. I see it. I see all those little girls going for their autograph. I see them crying. You know what? Trust me on this. It's not of that. The woman that I am going to say, it's not comparing. I'm not comparing Caitlin to that magnitude because I've seen that firsthand. The magic that Taylor Swift has over her fans, it's like hypnotic. And I'm one of them, by the way. My daughter and I went to 2 Eras Tour concerts, broke the bank. Before that, saw her a couple of times as well. Taylor Swift, Queen. Caitlin Clark has a little about that mojo because I see those little girls just like magnetized by her. They're like, they can't get enough. And women of all ages and men are fans of Caitlin. There's something there. It's the it factor. And plus she's a damn great basketball player. So that helps.
Absolutely. Yes.
I forgot what we were talking about. I thought of my girl Taylor Swift and I went off on a tangent.
Taylor Swift, her grandparents from my hometown, Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Yep. All right. We do have some questions here, Linda. So this is
although, by the way, a grandparent, Marjorie, had passed away, and she wrote a song about Marjorie. That was a grandmother.
How about that?
Okay, so great song. Sad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Here we'll start with this one. This pertains to WNBA. This is from Hosehead 31. Thank you. Ask Linda. All BS aside, what are they going to do about the WNBA officiating? It's ruining games. What do you think, Linda?
Yeah, I all the other circus acts. We forgot about one of my main points of contention in the past few weeks has been the officiating and how bad it is. Amazingly, I didn't see a major incident over the weekend from watching WNBA basketball. I might have missed it, but let's hope they're on it. They can focus on that, improve that, and get the right people doing that job and fix that. Man, if I see some bad officiating during the playoffs, that's not going to be good. Yeah. So let's see. Hopefully they're aware and it'll get changed for the better. But if it's not, you'll hear it from me. I'll rip them apart.
I'm excited for the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Let's switch to the NFL here real quick. This one is from Brian in Vegas. Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, Linda. Do you think the NFL should ban players that go back to college when they don't make the cut to stop that behavior from continuing? That's an interesting take on that.
So let me get this straight. We all know about what's going on now, of course, with Daquan Wright going back to LSU. So the question is, you're saying, should the NFL get involved by saying, no, you're not allowed to go back to college? Like, was that the question?
That's the question. And then
okay,
you can't,
right.
If you go back, you're not allowed to enter the NFL again.
Wow. Well, you know what? I would love that. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would love it. And hey, guess what? That's common sense. And I
Yeah.
like common sense. The NFL would never do it, but I love it. Great suggestion.
I agree. A very good suggestion. All right, we'll close it out with this one here, Linda. This here is from Charles. Thank you, Charles. Linda, do you have any idea why over the last few years the NFL teams refuse to use the last preseason game to prepare starters for the season? They've kind of switched the method of how the preseason goes. What do you have a take on that one?
Yeah, it used to be that. Then it's the third week. And then the fourth week is like everyone's mailing it in and everybody else, clean up this mess. Let's get to the regular season. I don't know. There's a method to the madness of these coaches and the coaching staffs. I'm sure analytics is driving everything. I wouldn't mind it, though, with my team. Here's the thing, though. If my starting quarterback hasn't played all preseason, you're not going to give him a snap or two in the final preseason game. It's different if they're playing, week 2, week 3 of the preseason, even if it's just one series, then I'm okay with them not playing in that final preseason game. But when they're not, has your guy, Aaron, that's not your guy, but because you're a Jets fan, but your former guy, Aaron Rodgers, has he played a snap for the Steelers in the preseason? No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't at all. Mm-mm.
And remember all that talk? I remember I did a story right here on this show. Mm-hmm. That he told Mike McCarthy, he goes, hey, I'll play in the preseason if you want me to. Haven't seen him. Should.
Nope. Tell you what, though, Geno Smith, perfect series against the Steelers.
I'm not surprised. I told you I'm a great Geno Smith fan. My son Dan loves Geno Smith. Geno gave Dan a shout out when I was hosting SportsCenter a couple of years ago when Geno was on the Seahawks. So I will always be a Geno Smith fan. And you know what? He is going to surprise Jet fans like you.
Comeback player of the year, Geno Smith.
There
I got hopium. Got hopium.
All right, guys. That was great. Listen, keep it going. Click, like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. Helps you. It helps me. Most important, I love that you're part of my journey. I love that you're here. I love that you're watching. If you don't catch the show live, you're catching it later. It's like a loop. It's like when I used to do SportsCenter a million times and it just looped over and over and over again. So I love that. I appreciate that. That subscriber total, keep subscribing, get that total up. Tell your friends, tell your family. And that's awesome. So we're going to be expanding to more shows. We'll have details coming up. You guys will be the first to know when this schedule expands because it's so much fun and it's skyrocketing. And as long as we're having fun and we're skyrocketing, that's great. So let's do more of it. Not 7 days a week. I'm not going to be Pat McAfee, not 7 days a week, but we're going to expand from 2 or 3 shows a week. That is for sure. So again, thanks everybody. We will talk to you. I don't even know what day it is. We will talk to you on Thursday, unless I decide to do a live show before that. And it's my show and I could decide, and Dom will be standing by just in case. Have a great night, everyone.